C1 Ariete. Is it NATO's worst tank? The C1 Ariete is an Italian main battle tank that was designed and built in Italy and has been in service with the Italian Army since the mid-1990s. It is a third-generation main battle tank designed specifically for the Italian Army. At the time of its introduction, the C1 Ariete was one of the best tanks in the world, equipped with a 120mm gun and a cutting-edge fire control system. However, its reputation has deteriorated significantly in recent years. Want to know more? Hey guys, welcome to our channel Alpha Tanks, where we tell you about military tanks, from the most famous World War II battle tanks to the most advanced battle tanks at present. But before we proceed, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of our amazing videos in the future. And let's begin! The Ariete is rated against the Challenger 2, Abrams, Leopard 2, and Leclerc as the main battle tank of one of NATO's primary members. In comparison to these tanks, Italy's MBT has not received the same level of attention and upgrades, leading many to regard it as a tank unfit for modern combat. Is this reputation, however, justified? In the 1980s, the majority of Italy's MBT fleet was made up of American M60A1s and German Leopard 1s. Tanks like the M1 Abrams and Leopard 2 were in service by this point, rendering the Leopard and M60 obsolete. Naturally, Italy desired to improve. The consortium was formed by Iveco Fiat and Otto Melara, with the latter developing the turret and weapon system and the former focusing on the hull. The tank would be called the Ariete, which means ram, after the famous Italian armor division that fought alongside the Germans in Africa during World War II. In 1986, a prototype for this new vehicle was completed, and 6 pre-production models were built in 1989. During trials, these examples were thoroughly tested, covering a total distance of 10,000 miles or 16,000 kilometers. The C1 Ariete was supposed to go into service in 1993, but delays pushed that date back to 1995. Production lasted until 2002, with a total of 200 units built. The C1 Ariete included many third-generation MBT features, such as a fully stabilized gun, NBC, nuclear, biological, and chemical protection, and composite armor. It looks like a cross between the Leopard 2 and the Challenger 2. It is like those vehicles, has a single driver in the front, a turret in the center with 3 crew members, and its power back in the rear driving rear sprockets. It is reportedly protected by classified composite armor similar to that used on the Challenger 2 and Abrams. However, in order to save weight, the C1 Ariete's armor was thinner than desired. The suspension on the C1 Ariete is a torsion bar, but it borrows many features from the German Leopard 2 that entered service a decade earlier. The Fiat's V12 MTCA turbocharged 12-cylinder diesel engine in the C1 Ariete produces 937 kilowatts or 1,273 horsepower. Iveco has developed an improved version of the MTCA engine, which is expected to be installed during the revision of the existing tanks. At 1,800 RPM, the engine can produce 1,600 horsepower. The automatic transmission system, licensed from the German company ZF, features 4 forward and 2 reverse gears, as well as the steering system and hydraulic retarder. The final drives are epicyclic in nature. A 120mm L44 smoothbore gun developed by OTO Breda is housed within the turret. This gun is comparable to the RH-120 L44 gun found in early Leopard 2s and M1A1 Abrams. It can fire most standard 120mm NATO rounds due to its similarities. A thermal sleeve, a fume extractor, and a muzzle reference sensor are all included with the barrel. The C1 Ariete has a 7.62mm MG4259 machine gun mounted coaxially next to the main gun for anti-personnel work. An electro-hydraulic system controls the turret and gun movements. Galileo Avionica manufactured the fire control system. It considers atmospheric data as well as the tank's physical situation to improve gun accuracy. The gunner has a thermal sight that the commander can use, but the commander does not have its own dedicated thermal sight. At only 60 tons, the C1 Ariete is a relatively light military battle tank. This is significantly less than the Leopard 2, Challenger 2, and Abrams, which all weigh more than 70 tons, depending on variant and add-ons. Its engine can propel it to speeds of more than 40 miles an hour or 65 kilometers an hour. It's difficult to assess the performance of any tank without direct comparisons in equal battle conditions, as it is with any other tank. Without this, it's difficult to determine whether a vehicle is poorly designed, being operated by an inexperienced crew, or being used in ways for which it was never intended. Still, the C1 Ariete has some flaws that could cause problems in the field. The majority of these are due to its lack of survivability and fire control systems. The exact armor specifications are unknown, but given that the C1 Ariete weighs nearly 20 tons less than the M1A2 Abrams while being of comparable size, it's clear that it cannot provide the same levels of protection as the Abrams. What's more, the C1 Ariete's ammunition is distributed throughout the tank, posing a significant risk of detonation if the tank is penetrated by an incoming round. While the C1 Ariete is not the only tank lacking separate ammunition compartments and blow-off panels, its light hull armor makes this a greater concern than on other MBTs. The Ariete's optics and fire control systems are also underwhelming. Its fire control systems were excellent for the time, but they are no longer up to date. Because the commander lacks a dedicated thermal sight, the crew's situational awareness suffers. Even the gunner's thermal sight is only effective out to about 1,500 meters, which is significantly less than the Abrams thermal imaging target resolution of 4,000 meters. Its electro-hydraulic turret control is also out of date. The majority of C1 Ariete's issues are caused by a lack of upgrades rather than inherent issues with the tank itself. Upgrades are critical for modern military battle tanks to remain competitive after decades of service. This is arguably the C1 Ariete's greatest flaw, and it isn't even the tank's fault. Italy actually attempted to upgrade the C1 Ariete as early as the early 2000s. This vehicle would have improved armor, fully electric turret drive, improved fire control systems, third-generation thermal optics for the commander and gunner, and possibly an auto-loader. The MTCA V12 engine in the C1 Ariete would have been enlarged to 30 liters, fitted with direct fuel injection, and received an additional turbocharger. These changes would have increased power to 1,600 horsepower and torque to 5,500 Newton meters, making it one of the most powerful military battle tank engines in use. This model would have been known as the C2 Ariete or the Ariete Mark II. Apparently, these upgrades did not take place, leaving the tank technologically behind its peers. Despite the fact that upgrades were first discussed 2 decades ago, Italy is now planning to implement them in order to extend the service life of their current Arietes. It is important to remember that a tank's statistics on paper are not an accurate indicator of performance, as demonstrated numerous times throughout the 20th century. Tank success is often determined by factors such as training, doctrine, tactics, and logistics. And that's it for today, guys. We sincerely hope you enjoyed our video, and if you did, make sure you please click on that like button and share it with your friends and family. If you have any questions or comments, please share them with us in the comment space below. And also, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you'll see even more of our incredible videos. You can also check out other videos that have been specially selected for you. Hey, we thank you so much for watching. We wish you a very pleasant rest of your day, and make sure you stay tuned to our channel, where we'll catch up with you in our next video.